And we're going. Excellent. Hello. Welcome back to the Mighty Nine, where we're going to look at the Mighty Nine and have some opinions about the Mighty Nine and talk about the Mighty Nine. And that's what we're going to do, because that's what I do here on this channel, is I talk about cartoons and I have opinions about them. Say hello to YouTube, everybody in chat. And be normal, please. Be normal. I'm sure you will be. You're always normal. You're always good. You're always good for me. You always behave. And yeah, if you haven't been along to one of these reactions before, I should explain that right up front. The way that this works is this is my chill out, relax, and do whatever the fuck I want channel, which means I don't want to have to do a bunch of editing work. Apparently, I am going to have to, because there's going to be naked breasts at some point over the course of this episode that I'm definitely going to have to edit out for YouTube. But anyway, mostly I don't want to do a bunch of editing work, which means I'm not going to put pretty much any of the continuously playing footage of the Mighty Nine up on screen for you to look at. You're going to have to do that yourself. You're going to have to put it on your own screen, and then you're going to have to sit there and pause and play and pause and play along with me to stay in sync so that you are the same place that I am and you can hear the stuff that I'm talking about. Fortunately, I have done a few things to help you. First of all, you're going to have some subtitles over there in the bottom of the screen that are going to help you figure out where we are. There's a timestamp in the top left. And of course, I'm going to give you a countdown. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Go, and then we go at the same time. And then when I need to yap about something for a more extended period of time, which is occasionally, I'll say 3, 2, 1. Pause, and then we'll pause, and then I'll do my yapping. And then when I'm ready to proceed, I'll say 3, 2, 1. Go, and then we go, and we stay in sync, and everything works out brilliantly. Now, this is very inconvenient for you, and it's convenient for me, and that's the thing that matters. But if you want a more convenient way to watch these reactions, well, first of all, you could join the Discord, like these freaks. If you're enough of a weirdo to hang out with these people, you know, like, don't let them scare you. They don't bite often, but still, they haven't been vaccinated for everything, so you should probably be careful about it. The other thing you can do is you become a member of the channel, and then there are some more convenient versions of these reactions that are less tedious to have to deal with that you can get access to if you want, but you don't have to. It's completely fine. If you're willing to just do the difficult work of pressing pause and play every once in a while, you can follow along with this just fine. And if it's annoying and it's too much, you don't want to deal with it, you can just leave. It's fine. You don't have to watch this. You really don't. You have better things to do with your one wild and precious life, but I don't, which is why we're going to watch the Mighty Nine. So, 3, 2, 1, go. One thing I'm interested in is, so far we have spent 2 episodes, and we seem to be about to be spending a 3rd episode just getting the party together, right? And like as of yet, outside of the relic, there isn't really like this is the quest that we all have to do. This is and a number of the characters don't really yet have a reason to get involved with the relic. Ford especially has no reason to get involved with any of this. He wants to get the hell away from all this supernatural bullshit. So I am curious how they paced out the season enough that it has like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and what an end climax for this even looks like. Oh, it's a fun day at the carnival, I see. Well, there's the lollipop. So I assume we're going to get a flashback to explain some of this. Hello, Beauregard. Acid arrows, huh? Too soon? But yeah, like, we're still in the process of even introducing party members, right? Like, there's still party members, so season 1 is like largely character introduction. Which again, I wonder if how they're gonna find like a dramatic climax, or how they're gonna move character arcs along enough that it'll feel like, oh, okay, some shit actually happened. Because if the whole first season is just like one long intro, you know, it's like that's probably a good start, but it is definitely the sort of thing where you go, just make a 16 episode season then. Which, like, I know you can't do that anymore because of Netflix and shit, but whatever. Oh, yeah, nope, there. That's the boobs. Dude, never fuck your fans. It doesn't end well. Okay, I wonder which studio it was that handled the animation here. Maybe you should check those bills before you sign them. That's funny. Um. Well, I mean, uh, funny. That's entertainment. Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. Let's have a look at that little flourish there. Oh, that's well observed. Yeah, it's a little stacking shuffle. I've seen close-up magicians pull that shit off before. We have re-encountered my old enemy, though. We have re-encountered my old enemy, the motion blur, which, God, which I understand why you would use it here, because it introduces a sense of speed, right? Like the motion blur here, it introduces a sense of speed to a piece of animation that is actually not that fast, right? If we slow it down like this, you can see, like, it's not like things are actually moving that much frame to frame. In fact, it's quite kind of a subtle animation. So they're slapping the motion blur on top of it here in order to give the illusion, like the sense of, like, oh, it's moving so fast. Again, my personal opinion is that especially if you're working in 2D animation, you have something that does that for you, and that's called motion smears. You smear it. You create like an artistic depiction of the speed of motion. You use doubling. You use smears. You use speed lines. There's many different artistic means that you have available to create the sense of speed in a motion without just smearing Vaseline all over the artwork. But it's the kind of thing that people only care about if they're the sorts of weirdos who slow down and frame by frame their way through a thing like this. And it's a pity, because like this looks like a really nice little piece of sort of close-up card animation, actually. Like, it looks like the animation is quite true to life, in fact. I wouldn't be surprised if the animator who did this spent a bunch of time looking at reference of, like, real-life card sharks actually dealing a shuffle like this, and then it fucking can't see it because it's just fucking smeared all over it. The art is meant to be seen in real time. That is its purpose. Yes. I don't care, though, because that's not how I look at it, and that's the way it is. And still, my argument is this would be much more compelling as art, and in real time. This would look faster, and it would look better if they used actual drawn smears, if they used actual drawn stripes, if they used actual drawn doublings to give the sense of speed. This would look a lot faster than it does, but because they're using motion blur, it sort of looks good at full speed. Right? Because the blur sort of implies that something is moving fast. But if you watch it more than once or twice, you can actually see that it's not going that fast. Right? That he's not actually moving fast, he's moving precisely. Right? It's not actually that he's like super quickly shuffling things, it's that he's doing a very precise shuffle. Right? Splitting the card into 4 little stacks, moving them around each other briefly just once. It's not actually a super fast motion, it's a very precise motion, which is also impressive. And so you have this disconnect between what the motion blur is saying, which is that he's shuffling the cards so fast you can't even see it, and what the animation is saying, which is, no, he's shuffling the cards really carefully and precisely, actually. And that's the point when it's like, oh, okay, maybe then if you wanted it to look fast, you should have animated it to look fast by using actual drawn smears and speed lines. But instead, they're sort of trying to do it both ways by doing motion blur on top of what's actually a very slow and precise animation. And I don't think it works. Like, it's a patchwork solution. It's a suboptimal solution, right? It's a bodge job, and it would look better if they didn't bodge it, because it isn't actually that fast, right? Anyway, let's go back over these circus scenes a bit. Well, maybe not those. Maybe not the naked ones, because I don't want to have to edit that out of the YouTube video if I don't have to. Also, they were quiet little dialogue scenes, and there wasn't a lot of impressive animation happening there. I do like Mollymauk's physical acting. right? Because we have these two characters, right? Like it's a classic double act. We have like the ringmaster, the financier, the guy who's on the hook for all of the debt, right? And he's worried because like, oh, we're not going to get enough tickets, we're not going to sell enough. Oh no, it's like we're all going to be ruined, and we can't pay our creditors, right? And Mollymauk, who's the performer, who is having to manage his manager, right? Like to handle and manage his manager's emotions and reassure him and like instill him with confidence that things will work out and so on and so forth. It's a classic sort of show business dynamic, right? Because it's also real. Like there's real truth to that you often get the people who have to handle the finances being scared out of their gourds, and the people who actually have to handle the performance having to be like, no, it'll be fine. Like, we'll do a performance, it'll be really good, and people will come to see it. That's often the dynamic in real life. And I do like that you can see that in the acting of the characters. And the way that they relate to their environment, right? Because, what's his name? Gustav or whatever, like, the ringmaster guy. He's walking right past everything, right? He's not taking anything in. He's not looking at the rest of the circus. He's not interacting with the performers, basically, right? He has no, it's as though he kind of doesn't see them at all, right? Hey, boss. And he has to sign a thing, and his bill is like, but other than that, he's just not present in the circus, right? He's not present with the performers. Mollymauk is. Mollymauk is interacting all the time. Mollymauk is talking to people. He's touching people, right? He's taking things from them. He's handing them things. Right, Gustav is like, yeah, he like yells at her for just a second, like sort of piles more pressure on her, basically. And Mollymauk is like, well, I know what'll get her out on stage. Not necessarily the healthiest coping mechanism. Like, wouldn't recommend just like trying to soothe the person's stage nerves with alcohol. But you know, if the show is tonight, and they absolutely need to go on, then that's the sort of thing that happens, right? And everyone likes Mollymauk. No one really seems to like Gustav that much. And I like that. Like, the acting in the scene is solid. It establishes, like, the dynamic. It establishes the characters. It establishes Mollymauk's approach to physicality, which is that he touches everything a lot. Oh boy, does he ever touch things. And then going by the martial arts that bear was doing in the little flash forward at the start, I imagine the bear is going to get taken out by Beauregard, and she's going to be in the costume fighting the whatever the fuck it is that's happening to the circus. But for now, it is a spurned actor who studied at the Vanderfluet School of Performing Arts. And who's very upset at not getting a headlining role, which, you know, everyone has to wait tables for a while in Hollywood. That's just the way it goes, dude. Now I'm curious to see how Mollymauk handles the interaction with this poor bastard. 3, 2, 1, go. Good, okay. I like that. He sees that there's nothing he can do for him, right? Like, it's... Lovely background work still. Like, they really do put a lot of texture in the backgrounds. Hasn't had a drink in a while, huh? Withdrawal symptoms from alcoholism are not a small deal, by the way. It's real bad. Yeah. Three, two, one, pause. Seriously, like withdrawal symptoms from alcoholism are not a little deal. Like it's not just, oh, you feel bad and you really want to have a drink. Like when it gets severe, it gets real bad, which is another one of those things of like part of the reason why people need help to quit an addiction. And I don't just mean people say, oh, we're here for you, but like need someone to sit by the bedside, need someone to wipe up the fucking vomit, need someone to make sure that they get to the bathroom in time, need someone to make sure that they get some food and like water inside of them, is because alcohol withdrawal is a bad time, especially once it gets severe. It's not just a matter of willpower. It is not just a matter of pull yourself together and stop drinking all that. No, it's once you are dependent on it, your body does not like it if you try not to take the substance you are dependent upon. Same thing with a lot of drug addictions. It's not something you handle just by willpower. It's not something you handle just by being strong or changing your mindset. Which, like, it's one of the things of, like, there's a lot of it frustrates me. There's a lot of, like, self-help bullshit out there about quitting dependencies and quitting addictions and shit like that really do constantly return to this well of like, oh, it's about the responsibility. You have the personal responsibility, you have the willpower, you have to character, you have to really pull yourself together, like internal change and transformation. It's like, yes, absolutely, a person cannot quit a substance addiction until they are ready to do it, until they have an internal moment of like, this is something that has to happen or I'm gonna fucking die. It has to be an internal thing, but that's not enough. Like it is internal change, yes, but material circumstances also very much so. And for someone like Not, right, someone who is clearly not accepted in society, someone who has to wear a mask just to be out and about anywhere, right, someone who does not feel that she has a support network, who clearly doesn't have a support network, like Caleb is her first friend in God knows how long, is like, yeah, no, that it's like, it's gonna be a tough fucking time for her. And I do like this moment of like, where Caleb isn't trying to take it away from her, right? Caleb is just like, hey, let's ration this. But like instantly, any sense of threat, right? Any sense that the thing I fucking need is taking away from me, transforms into defensiveness, transforms into aggression, right? Because, and that's not just because, oh, the alcohol is mind controlling her to be aggressive. No, that's not what it is. It's because this thing, and certainly the sense that she has, is like, I can't trust other people not to harm me. Taking this thing away from me right now is harming me, right? Because those fucking withdrawal symptoms are real bad. And I like this scene. I like that we see both, like, the lash out. And again, this is a sort of cartoonified word, but this is something that'll happen in dynamics with real addicts, right? Like, it is a thing addicts have to struggle with, is even when they've made the decision, even when they have the support, even when they're in the process of trying to handle their addiction, there is still these very, very difficult, painful times when your body, your mind, the way that the chemicals are imbalanced, it just, you become aggressive, you become resentful, you become angry, you become ungrateful. You start blowing up your relationships because the stress of going through withdrawal is a lot, right? And that tends to be followed very quickly with shame and self-hate. And shame and self-hate, of course, are two things that can very quickly drive an addict into pursuing their addiction again, because the addiction provides some relief from all of that. Like, it's a lot of shit. And I do like that they're not sugarcoating it here. Right? Like, they could be, like, there are ways to be more brutal about it, but it is a thing of, like, Not's alcoholism is not funny. Right? It's not funny. It's not ha ha ha. Alcoholic goblin. Isn't that a hoot? They're drunk all the time. Whoop-de-doo. It's like, no, this is bad, actually. This is really bad. And other characters have to navigate handling Knott's addiction. I do hope they keep up with that. That it's not just a character affectation, right? It's not just a... In the same way, like, you're at a D&D table... You have, like, everyone's having fun. One of the characters is playing a dwarf who's drunk all the time. It's not being played like that, and I do appreciate that. Like, this isn't funny. This is a problem, right? Nott knows it's a problem, but isn't in a position to be able to do very much about it because well, she's dependent on that shit, right? This isn't... Fuck it, I'm on my soapbox anyway. You know how people say, oh, you shouldn't give money to homeless people, they just spend it on drugs and alcohol? It's like, yeah, because they need those things. If someone is an alcoholic, it's not... If they have money, they have to spend it on alcohol, because if they don't spend it on alcohol, if they go into withdrawal symptoms, they could fucking die. Especially if they're fucking homeless, and they're out on the street in the cold, and they go into severe alcohol, like, withdrawal, it could fucking kill them. Like... Literally kill them. Not just, oh, make them uncomfortable for an... Kill them dead with suffering in the extreme, right? So, yes, of course they'll spend some of that money on alcohol, but that's not... The fuck else are they supposed to do? Right? Like, it's... Oh, it'd be smarter to spend it on food or, like, maybe saving up for it. Yeah, but you don't have that option when you're an addict. When you're an addict, you don't get to have those options. You don't get to have the option of doing the rational thing all the time because you have an addiction, right? And some addictions are very severe and can kill you. Some addictions are less severe and won't kill you if you go into withdrawal. But you try dealing with withdrawal symptoms from anything for any extended period of time, and you tell me how easy it is. You tell me. And if you've never dealt with it before, shut the fuck up and don't judge people. Because it's... hard, right? And that doesn't mean that an addict gets to get away with doing whatever stupid shit or like blowing their life up or whatever. Like, people still need to be held accountable by their friends and family. They don't necessarily need to be held accountable by random fucking strangers who are judgmental of them, right? If you are in community with someone, you can hold them accountable. If you're not, then either give them some money if you have some to spare that you don't mind letting go of, or else just move on and keep your stupid judgmental opinions to yourself, please. Thank you. Anyway, off my soapbox again. My point is, I like that they're not sugarcoating it. This is a problem. This is not a funny character trait. This is not a haha alcoholic goblin situation. This is a problem. And it's a problem that causes damage, right? It's not, and it's not, again, also, it's not a problem that's just like, oh, they something, but it seems to be a problem that's set up to have some actual consequences. Because alcoholism isn't funny. Alcoholism kills people, and it destroys their lives, and it destroys their relationships. And it is bad. And it's well acted in this scene. Anyway, let's turn to some more to a more amusing character dynamic. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, he's about to get killed real bad, isn't he? Like, oh no. He's about to die real bad, isn't he? It's just, it's a death flag. You know, when we're in the introduction of a character, it's like, oh, my beloved mentor who did everything for me and gave me a home. The home village has to burn so the hero can go on the adventure, you know? Arakokra. Oh. Or Kinku. One of the two. Ace Fura. Don't know what that is. 3, 2, 1. Pause. I. That's a fucking Zelda. That's a fucking Marin from Lon Lon Ranch. That's a. I'm sorry. It's she a lot looks like. She a lot looks like that. It's just I can't unsee it. If that hair was blonde, fully Zelda, because it's a little brown, it's like that's fucking Marin from Lon Lon Ranch. She's about to sing a Pona song and summon horses. That's what's about to happen with her. Another good little acting moment. Mollymauk has spent the whole trip through the circus, right? Reassuring everyone else, right? Like sort of smoothing over the rough edges, telling people, hey, it's going to be okay, or interacting, or like providing them with courage and so on and so forth. It was quite nice to that poor beggar man. And then as a final thing, he provides reassurance to Gustav, right? And you see Gustav, like, again, good little acting moment that he's sort of like, okay, catches himself and then carries himself with a bit more confidence, and now he's in performance mode as well. And you can see the body language change to accommodate it, which is good acting. 3, 2, 1. Go. The kid is just like, yay! Yeah. Pomni? What are you doing here? This will go well. Just take one and go. Oh, he recognizes something there. Well, he would, wouldn't he? Daddy's little helpers, I suppose. That was a fast wheel fix. Three, two, one, pause. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. I saw that. I saw that. You don't get to... That's not... That can't be red-haired Shanks, right? They... Are you doing a One Piece thing here or not? I swear to God, nowadays, every time I see a straw hat, I don't care if it's like yellow with a red band around it. I'm just like, is that a One Piece reference? Hop aboard and bring along all your hopes and dreams. Ah, it's brain poisoning me. I can't see things in any other terms anymore. And poor Caleb, of course, doesn't know that she's looking for him. She's not looking for him. Good way to establish the menace of these assassins also, that Caleb is fucking terrified of them. Because, like we already have it, right? Like, from Bo getting her ass comprehensively handed to her. But it is nice to see a character who's, like, completely unaffiliated with any of that nonsense, as far as we know. Like, who's not been part of that storyline thus far. Just, like, seeing this person, like, one time and being like, oh, fuck! That's a good way to establish some menace. Everyone feeling normal about the middle-aged dragonborn guy with big muscles, by the way? I'm sure you are. You're very normal people. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, not a Shanks reference then. It's brain poison, One Piece. Don't get into it, kids. We talked about addiction. You know, Frenchmen and love. Always a recipe for disaster. Brackets positive. Well, isn't he charming? The pacing is doing a very good job of cutting between the different characters. And it prevents them from feeling completely disconnected from what it... Ford about to have new and... You were smiling and looking at that one, Ford. I don't know what the actual voice actors look like, but I'm going to take a guess that in the mirror there, they're drawn as themselves as the voice actors. Or the players, rather. Emotionally resonant magic mirror. Huh. Telepathy, I guess. I mean, yeah, that'll do it. Better keep it safe. Oh, that does make me a little hungry. Two fucked up washouts with problems. I like that. Ooh, I like that gesture. 3, 2, 1, pause. Just a little thing. That was a good bit of animation there. Like that little grab with the teeth and then pull, build up tension, and then snap, and then turn the head a little bit. Go into the eating. I like that. Like, because it's full animation, right? Like, you can see the whole body is being activated into it, and then tension, 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 snap, and then relaxation. It's nothing special. It's not super special. It's just a good bit of animation. And it certainly implies that what Caleb just said about himself is resonating with Nott somehow. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, Bo, don't you have more important problems? Maybe I shouldn't do that, Bo. Jesus. I love a Gilligan cut. Three, two, one, pause. Once again, with the anger issues. I do like that in Bo. Like, I like that Beauregard is clearly, like, on the one hand, fiercely determined to do the right thing. On the other hand, very thin-skinned. Cannot let the world slide. Cannot let anything slide, really. There's like, it's the flip side of having a strong sense of justice, right? Is she has a much more important job to do, right? She has much more important things to tend to and deal with, but she sees not. And then it's like, oh, injustice, I have to correct this. I have to fucking do that. You can't, because that, I must personally slight it, and that they did the wrong thing, and I can't let it go. Even when it's the very smart thing to do. And I like that. Again, consistent with a character who feels like she has something to prove, right? Like who felt abandoned and thrown out, and like maybe internalized that as I'm not good enough. Yeah, that can absolutely turn into this kind of righteous hell-raising, right? Where the moment she feels like she's in the right, it's like, okay, well then I'm not going to think about the consequences, I'm just going to act kind of vibe. And it has consequences, right? Like, it's... Because it's not like she doesn't think any further. It's like, hey, hang on. If some people stole your horse, why would they do that? Especially when they look as fucking rough and tumble as poor Caleb and not do. It's like, maybe they're poor. Maybe they sold the horse somewhere. Maybe you can talk to them. Maybe you can, hey, I really need that horse back. Where did you sell it? Where did it go? You could start with a conversation, right? Bo doesn't do that. Bo starts with physical confrontation, right? Like, step 1, fight, right? Step 1, grab a guy by the collar and threaten him. Step 1, right? Like, that's not step 5 in a longer process of trying to get information about where your horse is. Like, it's step 1 is violence. And it's the same thing where Bo is focused on this and so kind of forgets, right? Like, oh, someone's trying to stop me from doing the right thing. Well, fuck you then. Because I'm like, this little shit stole my horse. I need to get my horse back because that's the right thing. And so we dislocate someone's finger. And when confronted, right, like when confronted with, hey, dude, you are very badly making yourself the bad guy here. You are very badly on the wrong side of pretty much everyone. Bo doesn't have any de-escalation skills whatsoever, right? Like, there's no, fuck, I'm sorry, there's no shit, I wasn't thinking, I just got so angry. There's no communication, there's no nothing. It's, Oh, you start. I've caused problems. Well, I'm just gonna escalate the prop. It's a good Gilligan cut. I do like that Gilligan cut. Oh, I should explain. If you don't know what a Gilligan cut is, it comes from the TV show Gilligan's Island, right? Like where there was a recurring joke that the characters are in some sort of trouble, and then someone comes up with a plan that's like, oh, in order to solve this, we need you to wear a woman's dress or whatever. And then the other character's like, I'm not wearing a woman's dress. I'm never putting on a woman's dress. That's never going to happen. Cut to the character going, yahoo, wearing a woman's dress, right? That's a Gilligan cut. When someone is like, we set up this thing, I'm like, that's never going to happen. Never going to happen. If fucking me, I'm going to fuck. And then we cut to the thing happening, right? Like, that's a Gilligan cut. Classic joke of film and TV. It's used very well here. Yeah, I mean, that's your own fault, Bo. Like, I'm sorry, no sympathy from me. You caused that problem entirely for yourself. 110%. You did that to yourself. And it's all ego, right? Not ego as in sort of narcissistic self-regard kind of, like, not ego in that sense, but it's ego in the sense of my sense of rightness is what's correct, and anyone who gets in the way of that, like it is that internally oriented need to prove yourself correct, right? I need to prove that I'm right in every situation. I need to prove that I'm right, and I need to like bulldoze any opposition because I'm right, and that way I can never be wrong. And if I'm not wrong, then I won't be thrown away again, right? On the assumption that I'm correctly diagnosing that that's where it comes from with her, that it comes from like this inferiority complex of being abandoned as a child, which, you know, is a reasonable place for it to come from. That it's this ego protection where I can't admit that I'm wrong. I can't admit that I'm on the wrong side of something. Because once I do, then I'm admitting that I did something wrong and then maybe that I deserved to be abandoned kind of vibe, right? I like that. I like that the characters have their flaws. I wonder what Caleb's flaw is. Because so far, Caleb has just been, like, nothing but good. And I wonder. Same thing with Mollymauk. Like, there's some flaws we have yet to have revealed to us, but what is the personal flaw that these characters are struggling with? I see Chad is having a good time. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, not took it. I'm just going to go on a limb and say, and Jester is the Traveler's only follower. Yeah, just going out on a limb. Three, 2, 1, pause. Here's a fun thing. So this conversation, right? Ford is sort of probably got the sense that he himself is dealing with a bit of supernatural interference in his life, right? Like he has probably sussed out at this point that something weird is going on. Like one would imagine that he has a suspicion. And so he's trying to probe Jester for information about the Traveler because it's like, oh, so okay, so there's something magical happening with you. You do magic. What's that like? Are they talk to you? Like, so Ford is trying to get some information here to figure out maybe something of what's happening with her also applies to the thing that's happening with me. And he's just not getting what he wants, right? Because what Ford wants to know is, what does this thing want from me? Right? What is this damn, whatever magic bullshit, like the reason I'm alive, whatever the fuck happened in the sea, what does it want from me? Right? Like, why do I have this why do I have this bullshit that gives me powers? I didn't ask for it. What does it want from me? What am I supposed to do with it? And Jester's not giving him anything because, well, she's a cleric of a god, of something anyway, and he's a warlock of something else that has not given him a lot of information. So the two things aren't analogous. But the interesting thing is, Jester's moving through the carnival very easily, right? Jester's never impeded. Jester just kind of goes, follows her heart, does whatever her whims are. And she's able to flow through the carnival with absolutely no problems. But look at Ford. Stuff gets in his way. And stuff gets in his way, and stuff gets in his way, and it's frustrating him. Right? So there's like this, the visual language here is telling you something that, like, Ford is encountering obstacles that Jester just isn't. Which, again, seems like a very apt summation of their character dynamic, right? Like, we've already had it from Ford. He keeps getting in his own way, right? Like, his insecurities, his fears, his anxieties keep getting in his way and preventing him, like, from living up to his potential. Like, his own cowardice gets in his way. Jester doesn't have that problem. Arguably, Jester doesn't have that problem a little bit too much. Arguably, Jester should maybe let a thing or two get in her way occasionally, sometimes. Maybe that would be maybe that would be safer. But I like that they're using just like the way that the two characters move through the environment to emphasize and support the conversation that they're having. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, friends. Missed. Very good. Is it a thing where he rolled like a 5 when he rolled for it at the campaign, and then she rolls a 20? I mean, technically, he's a warlock. Strength is not a priority stat. He rolled 3 nat 1s back to back. Oh, that's funny. That's why the dice are good. I suspect you're about to find out if you keep escalating, dudes. Nice sales pitch. Again, there he is fixing things, interacting. Three, two, one, pause. Not anything particular. I just want to have a look at some backgrounds. Because that carriage especially. Look at that. That's a gorgeous little illustration. So I think I've told this story before, but I had an art teacher once who was a bande dessinée artist, like the French-Belgian comics, right? And he drew these stories that took place in like old European cities. So he drew like a bunch of cityscapes, right? Like lots of big, hyper-detailed cityscapes, like architecture out the wazoo, and he was so fucking good at it. And one of the lessons that he taught us, and something I've always sort of held on to in the few occasions that I bother to draw background, is if you want anything to look alive, if you want anything to look real, right? Like if you want it to look like it's a physical object that exists in the world, the thing you do is the first thing you do is you draw it all out with rulers. You draw it all out with rulers and compass, and you make it mathematically and you make it geometrically perfect, right? Like you go over that thing so that it looks perfect. He was talking about architecture in this instance, so that it looks absolutely perfect in your perspective, it looks perfect in everything. And then once you've done that with your pencil, you take your ink pen and you freehand that shit, right? You draw it perfectly first, and then you freehand, and then you make mistakes, and that's good. You make the mistakes, and that's good, because those mistakes, those little inaccuracies, those inconsistencies in what you're drawing, the fact that everything isn't ruler, precise, perfect, that's what's going to give the thing a sense of being real, right? That's what makes it feel like, oh, that's a building that has stood there for 500 years, and rain and shine and earthquakes and fucking fires and people throwing bricks through a window. But like that's the sense of something being a thing that exists in the real world comes from that imperfection, right? And I thought of that because you look at this wagon here. Clearly, rulers were involved in the construction of these lines, right? Like someone at some point sat down with a bunch of rulers and had to sketch out the structure of this cart, because the structure is pretty perfect, right? It's pretty darn good. But then when you look closer at it, when you pay attention, you can see, well, maybe you can't because this is, okay, hang on. If you're watching on YouTube, you probably can't see shit right now because it's so dark. Let me try and see if I can't do something about that. Where are my settings? There. Yeah, a little clearer for you now. If you look closely at the lines, you can see the wobble. You can see imperfection, right? Like you can see that this wasn't just straight ahead drawn with a ruler, or in this case, being that it's a digital illustration, it wasn't drawn by asking the drawing program to create a perfect straight line. It was probably done with a lot of guides, but there is that there is that wobble of imperfection in there, right? Like you can see how things are just a little bit off. Things are just a little bit wonky. Same thing I noticed with the wheels on the wagon here. The width of the wagon wheel isn't consistent across the whole circle, right? Because it looks like it was drawn over. And that's fine, right? Like that's a mistake technically in very technical terms, but it's what gives this thing its presence, its sense of being an object that exists, right? Like not just a prop, not just because that's something that can happen with like certainly it's a thing that happens more in 3D animation, right? Because in 3D animation oftentimes the assets are constructed out of, you know, polygons and simples and like fucking what, like they're put together with mathematical perfection because 3D software is capable of doing that, right? Like, and with 3D assets a lot of the time you do get these objects that are just too perfect, right? These objects that just feel ultimately always feel a little bit like they're made of plastic because they are so flawless, right? Like because they are so geometrically mathematically perfect that the reality of them is kind of missing, right? So one of the jobs that I've certainly appreciated that I see 3D artists do more and more is that there is this attention to weathering, to making imperfections on purpose in things, to give them that feeling of realness, of beingness. And I like that because one of the things, as I've harped on about a million times, one of the things that frustrates me about some modern animation productions, especially anime, is that when they do backgrounds, when they do objects, it's so, and it's because they don't have time, right? But it's so clearly like it's just rulers, it's just perfect rulers, draw it over a photo, perfect rulers, make it, and you just sort of that'll have to be enough. One thing I really do appreciate about Mighty Nine is that the backgrounds always feel like places. The objects always feel like real things, right? Like they feel like things with history. And that, I think it's easy to underestimate how much that helps the world building, just passively in the sense of like, this feels like this fucking carnival has been around before the main characters showed up, right? This didn't spawn out of nowhere to facilitate a story for the main characters. This is stuff that exists and they happen to be interacting with it. There's a presentness that you get that's otherwise kind of hard to, that can otherwise be absent in a lot of things. Anyway, let's see Bo get into a bear costume. Or, well, let's not see it because we just cut to black, I suppose. 3, 2, 1, go. Aha. Careful with these portentous lines. Very much the monkey's paw curls on being a fortune teller, huh? Can't be that much of a psychic if he doesn't see what's coming next coming. Oh, are we about to have a premonition? Are we hesitating to pull a card? Yeah. If I remember the death card, it just means change, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna fucking die or even a bad change. It just means change, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean everyone's gonna die, but change can be scary. I think the tower is the one that more specifically means destruction or trouble. He just has a habit of face planting and shit, huh? Wah, wah, wah. Ooh, I do love myself a hurdy-gurdy. Ah, ah, ah. Hey, why did she say they were only to be handled by her and no one else? That is a tolerant toad. But that's the thing is, what if it is just once in a lifetime? The last thing you ever do will be once in a lifetime. Did you really need to take that many, dude? Yeah, now run. Again, couldn't you just talk, Bo? But no. No, she can't. That'll work out well. That'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Until... They're probably not supposed to be flying around free like that, are they? Oh, are you about to get caught by mistake there, dear clown? Oh, no. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, dear. That seems bad. Oh, that's where they came from. What's the CR of a devil toad, actually? It seems like the CR is probably pretty high. Ay, 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 ay. Time to find your courage, dude. Not the time for jokes! Good demonstration just how bad adventurers are for everyone in the world, kind of. Oh, boy. Oh, that's a way to go. I'm pretty sure those are normal bard powers, right? He's just a bard. What is his class, actually? Oh, Blood Hunter. Oh, I think I've read that stat block before. That's something Matt Mercer created for his. Icy Blood. Are we gonna cast a fireball inside? Oh boy, we really are. Well, he's also about to get got, huh? I mean, if you have an order of dedicated assassins tracking and chasing you, then paranoia is probably the correct position to take. Well, yeah, no, Deadeye, ironic way to go. Anyway, fun time at the carnival. I'm curious, like, because presumably this show is like a heavily condensed, streamlined, much simpler version of whatever the fuck happened during the campaign, right? Because there's always discourse going around like, oh, actual plays are all scripted, and it's like, no, they're probably the characters in the DM have some character beats worked out in advance, because that's how you do it at a D&D table. You tell your DM, hey, my character has this story and these beats and this scene, and they want to play out some scenes that happen like this and this and this, and then the DM figures out a way to do it. I will say, like, whatever chaos was happening during the actual sessions, they've done a damn good job of sort of condensing it together in such a way that it feels like a cohesive plot that moves towards a resolution. Which, again, like, I believe that's one of the skills that Matt Mercer has as a DM, right? Is his ability to take all of the chaos of a group of players and sort of gently weave it together into something that has like a cohesive movement to it, which is difficult. Like, most D&D games are not cohesive in the way that actual play shows, the good ones anyway, are. So, like, we get all this, like, foreshadow. Like, presumably, one would imagine going into the session that Mollymauk's player knew that shit is gonna go sideways, everyone's gonna die. Right? Like, that shit's gonna go bad. Right? Because we're setting it up with the fucking Devil Toad. We're setting it up with Caleb and not interfering with, like, the safety precautions of the Devil Toad, right? Which is that there can never be more than one beetle on the field at a time, or else Toya loses her ability to keep the damn thing fixated, right? And pliable. Because presumably it's very hungry and she's the only one who has its food, or whatever it is. It's like there's a lot of setup, there's a lot of very specific, like, foreshadowing. We see the specific set of characters, like the French acrobat who's about to get, well, who's about to have a bad time. we forego the necessity of damage rolls working out, right? Like, he can just kind of do whatever the hell that was. Misty Step, I suppose. And get a critical decapitation hit in on that thing. And we don't have to have a good dice roll for that, which is good. So, like, the management there of, like, conforming, right? Like, the same thing of, like, his mentor gets hit and he has to kill him kind of thing. Like, all that foreshadowing job is done. And presumably was informed by the dice rolls in the moment, but... certainly this feels like a Nat 1 moment. That Ford is struggling with one of the thralls, gets knocked over just in time to smack into Caleb, and, well, that fireball isn't going where it was supposed to. That certainly feels like a Nat 1 moment from the campaign. And again, good job on the show on managing to turn that into a means to bring the characters together, right? Like, of turning that into a means to hold the story tight. Because presumably Mercer would have prepared for either they managed to actually kill the Toad in this combat encounter, because players do be finding ways to do that, or else I have an exit strategy for the monster, now that it also has the orb that Bo needs, which is grab the trainer and get out. And that is well done. Like mashing the randomness of a D&D campaign together into something that works as a 40-minute episode of TV animation, that's hard. And I wouldn't be able to comment on, like, the exact details without having watched the campaign, but anyone who has watched the campaign, I hope you appreciate, like, how difficult it must have been in the writing process to put together the campaign into something that's, like, suitable for consumption in a more structured format. Because one of the things, like, I've tried to get into actual play campaigns before. The trouble is, if I'm listening to something that's that long, I need to do something else in the meantime. But the things I usually do is either I play video games or I draw. And either way, the moment I get fixated on drawing or playing video games, I forget to listen, and then I lose like 15 minutes of the thing, and then it's like, fuck, what happened? I have to scroll back. So it's, for me, it just doesn't work. Like, podcasts are better because they're more structured, whereas actual play games, it's like you have to listen to 9 people bantering over top of each other or whatever, and it's hard to follow. So anyone who's actually watched the campaign will hopefully appreciate the heavy editing work that goes into making something like this come together. It is also, so, you know, a lot of fantasy anime is heavily influenced by one specific anime from the 80s, late 90s, 80s, early 90s. I can't remember exactly when it's from, but called Record of Lodoss War, right? Record of Lodoss War is not the progenitor, but it's a major inspiration. It's a major source of aesthetic and narrative conceits for a lot of high fantasy anime, right? Like, pretty much every isekai you've ever seen owes a debt of a lot of aesthetic influence to Record of Lodoss War, right? And Record of Lodoss War, fun fact, folks, is a D&D campaign. It's a D&D campaign that was played over the course of many, many years, like a very, very long one, that the players wrote down everything and eventually turned, like, the campaign log that they had. I can't remember if it was the DM who did it, eventually turned that into, was it comics first, or did they do light novels? But, like, they turned it into other media. They adapted it into other media. Eventually got adapted into an anime, and then that anime, which was itself based on D&D, then filtered back out and became one of the visual sources of inspiration for, like, a lot of fantasy content in Japanese media, which then filtered back into becoming a bunch of inspiration for a bunch of stuff that also happened in D&D and various Western tabletop games. And it's just funny. Like, it's just history kind of repeating itself a little bit, that we had, like, that now we have, like, indie animation getting, like, a huge hit in 2026 based off of turning the campaign log of a D&D campaign into an animated show. Not that it's a one-to-one, it's just one of those little historical blips that amuse me. Okay, so everyone has caused a huge fucking disaster. Caleb and Nott have more than a little culpability in the deaths of all of these people. And certainly here we do get to see a little bit of a flaw in Caleb, I think, is that he is so fixated on recovering his magic that it does seem to distract him from other things quite badly. Like, he eventually turns around and is like, maybe I should do something to help these people. Doesn't work out well. But until that point, he's like, yeah, but I'm just going to get the beetle and get out. And so, I mean, I guess if he's paired up with Nott, are they both having like an addiction arc, essentially? That Caleb has kind of an addiction to his sorcery? That he's like, there's this fixation in him with recovering it that's, if not directly, then at least thematically parallel to an addiction? Yeah, wizardry. Only wizards care about that distinction. You wave your hands and you make magic happen. Wizard, sorceress, what's the difference? A bard is kind of a wizard, I say, specifically to piss off Gale of Waterdeep. Like, certainly, in this episode, he displayed a reckless disregard for other people's lives because he was so fixated on trying to recover the thing that matters to his magic. And one wonders what that magic means to his identity, right? Like, because we saw him with the cat, right? Like, that being able to resummon that familiar is desperately important to him. And I wonder about why. What that means. Like, not just in terms of, oh, it's his friend or whatever, but in terms of his identity, right? His self-understanding. What is it about that that is so central to his self-conception that he cannot... that he structures his life around it, essentially? Ford also has a little movement in his character. He finds his courage enough to charge into a fight when it's necessary, which is good. And I do like it's like Nott and Caleb have a big part of the responsibility for what happened here, but so does Beauregard, right? Beau, who once again is just fixated, right? Just fixated on someone screwed me over personally. Like, someone took something from me specifically. I need this thing to prove myself, right? I need this thing to do the right thing. And so therefore, like, step 1, physical confrontation. Step 1, violence. Step 1, attack, right? Make an attack roll. Make a grapple check. Rather than, like, paying attention and being like, okay, they are clearly moving something fragile around. That looks like it's magic. I don't know. Maybe I can talk to them. Like it's not that I feel like, oh, well, if you're a responsible person, you should always talk to people first. It's that the option never even seems to enter Beau's mind, right? That conversation as a first step is an option. That maybe you could explain that that pearl, it's not valuable. I need it for something incredibly important. Please, I'm begging you. And while you're having a conversation, while they aren't attacking either, maybe you can check out and scope and see that the goblin has a crossbow. Maybe you can, like, get the lay of the land, try and figure out what these people are capable of, what they want. Maybe you have something you can trade them in return for the thing that you... Like, but Beau just doesn't enter Beau's head. It's like... It is fists or it's nothing, right? It's punch or nothing. And I like that. I like that in a character. that it's not at all a thing that's not understandable, but it's just like, oh, girl, God, like, your teachers were kind of right about you. Even though they are also pieces of shit assholes. Like, it's like, they weren't entirely wrong. And then Deadeye, a man who probably should have taken his name as a warning to get out of the business that he's in. But, you know. I am curious about, like, there is a certain cruelty that he already has a disabled eye that has been wounded, and then you kill him by stabbing him through the other one. That's petty to an extent, right? Like, that's like, you're already gonna kill him. Did it have to be like an ironic death that's insult to injury? Which, like, I wonder if that's just a visual affectation of the show, or whether it's an indication of something in the character. Like, the character has that kind of, like, sadistic streak, right? That kind of not just a ruthless efficiency, but a certain aesthetic enjoyment of violence, like an aesthetic enjoyment of inflicting pain and punishment. I don't know. I don't know how major this villain is going to be, so I guess we'll find out. I like the subtitles, the confidence, exciting music playing. I mean, you're not wrong, but still. But that's, like, just to be clear, subtitles like that are important because they are tone indicators for people who can't actually hear the music, right? Like, that's what they're for. It is, but it is still that thing of, like, exciting music playing. Ooh, the best piece of music you've ever heard in your life playing right here. Here's another thing. Who's Moondrop? We know who Fletching was. Who was Moondrop? Matthew Mercer, of course, playing the mascot bear. Yeah. It would have been kind of funny if they had Matt Mercer play every single other character in the show, right? Like the main voice actors are playing the main part, and then Matt Mercer just says all the background characters, all the children. That would have been quite funny. Not practical, perhaps, but that would have been kind of funny. Let's see. Omid Aptai. Oh, an Iranian actor. Cool. Let's see. Oh, that's a long credits list. All the way back to 2005. Let's see. Played a few characters on some TV series. Jag, Judging Amy. He was on Heroes. CSI. Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Ghost Whisperer, Space Chimps? I don't know what that is. I think it was a movie. Played a role on Bones. NCIS. Yeah, lots of American TV acting by the looks of it. More NCIS. Space Chimps 2, Zartog Strikes Back. Played a role in The Mentalist. Fringe, Homeland. The Good Wife. Did some voices for Diablo 3, Spec Ops The Line. Oh, cool. That's a cool credit to have. Played a role in Argo, Call of Duty Black Ops, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Family Guy for a couple of roles. Archer. Castle. State of Affairs, Legends. Better Call Saul for 3 episodes. Cool. Call of Duty, some StarCraft 2 voice acting, World of Warcraft Legion, Titanfall 2, Infinite Warfare, Madam Secretary Shameless, We Bare Bears, Love, Death, and Robots, DuckTales as a Djinn, more World of Warcraft, mostly side voices by the looks of it. Played Salim on American Gods. Oh shit, yes he did. Gee, I didn't even look at his photo. I was just scrolling down to the credits. That's fucking Salim from American Gods. Mandalorian, Diablo 4, Kung Fu Panda, the TV series, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and then The Mighty Nine and The Boys. That's a pretty damn good credits list. Yo, Salim on American Gods, Jesus Christ. Oh, Alan Cumming was playing Gustav. I didn't even look down the list of voices. Oli Oli'i. That's Moana, isn't it? Or she was in Moana? Oh, no, yeah, that is Moana. That is literally Moana. I thought I recognized the name. Darren DePaul. Don't need to look up that credits list. Darren DePaul's credits list is 5 billion miles long. Darren DePaul has done a lot. Let's see. Bennett Ibarra. What do we have here? Looks like another working voice actor. Oh, goodness gracious, yes. All the way back to 1995, where she played Sailor Jupiter on Bisoujo Senshi Sailor Moon Super S Special. And 171 episodes of Sailor Moon also as Sailor Jupiter. Holy shit. And then outside of that, just, good lord, so many. Like K-On!, Puella Magica Madoka Magica, Danganronpa, Tekken, Shin Megami Tensei, Hunter x Hunter, Fire Emblem Awakening, Danganronpa again, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, BlazBlue, Sword Art Online, Marvel Heroes, Earth Defense Force, Wipeout, Hyperdimension, Neptunia, Magi, Lightning Returns, Hearthstone, more Danganronpa, more Shin Megami Tensei, Alt Noah Zero, Mega Dimension Neptunia again, 7 Deadly Sins, which, you know, is Xenoblade Chronicles, Love Live, Boruto, Durara, God Eater, the Peanuts movie, Naruto Shippuden Ninja Storm video game, Digimon World, Sailor Moon Crystal, coming back as Sailor Jupiter, Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy 15, damn, Mobile Suit Gundam, Boruto again, Final Fantasy 15 again, Last Man, Fire Emblem Heroes, Nier Automata, The Adventures of Puss in Boots, Agents of Mayhem, more Sailor Moon, more Naruto Boruto, more Marvel, more Sailor Moon, so much Sailor Moon, Star vs. the Forces of Evil for 1 episode, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power as several voices, Fallout 76, Sailor Moon Eternal, more Sailor Moon, more Danganronpa, God damn, more Boruto, Nier Automata, Star Trek Resurgence, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Cosmos the movie, more Naruto, damn. Oh, it's because she is Boruto. I forgot to check what character she was playing on Boruto. She is fucking Boruto. And she voiced Zira on Pretty Please Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. Nice. That's a fucking hell of a credits list right there. Let's see about you, JP Karliak. Oh yeah, here's another long one. Good lord, all the way back to 1996. 1996, where he was Kozu Fuyutsuki in Neon Genesis Evangelion. In the redub, anyway. A lot of TV work. He was on Dawngate? Oh, I miss Dawngate. It had an otter that slapped people with an electric eel as one of the characters. Skylanders, Kuroko's Basketball, Disney Infinity as Bailey. Lots of Skylanders, Lego Marvel's Avengers, Mighty Number 9, different from the Mighty 9. It's gonna make that game is gonna make you cry like an anime fan on prom night. Had a voice on Batman the Killing Joke in a Tom and Jerry short, Red Dead Redemption 2. As credited as the local pedestrian population in Red Dead Redemption 2. Just all of them. All of the local pedestrian population. Kingdom Hearts 3 as a bunch of additional voices. Costume Quest. The new Looney Tunes as Wile E. Coyote. Final Fantasy VII Remake as various extra voices. Last of Us Part 2. Star Wars Squadrons. Crash Bandicoot 4. Marvel Spider-Man and Morales. Lots of additional voices and background characters and stuff in a lot of stuff, it looks like. Castlevania, The Witcher, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Star Wars Visions. Minions, The Rise of Gru. Madagascar, a TV series. More Spider-Man, more Marvel. Star Wars The Bad Batch as a couple of voices. Played the Boss Baby in the Boss Baby Christmas bonus. Star Trek Resurgence, Fortnite, Starfield, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, Tiny Toons Looniversity, Elder Scrolls Online, Despicable Me 4, The Fairly Odd Parents, A New Wish, DC Dark Legion, Game of Thrones King's Road, Date Everything as Stepford, Family Guy, a couple of voices there, Outer Worlds 2, Ranma Half, the Super Mario Galaxy movie as additional voices as well. That's a fucking jobbing actor right there. Meanwhile, Maximus Regal. Who do we have here? No relation to Sam Riegel? I don't know. Oh. Is that Sam Riegel's kid? It's his kid. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was looking at the credits list and it's like, child voice, playing a young Sam Riegel for Critical Role. I'm just like, oh, okay, I think I see the relation. I think I pieced it together, gang. Like Sherlock, everything like symbols and signifiers appearing in front of my eyes as like the puzzle pieces slide into place, and I realized it was his son, child boy. I figured it out. I solved the mystery. Animation services by DR Movie, another different studio this time. Yeah, so they farmed this out to a bunch of different studios by the looks of it. I wonder how many. Did they do each episode with a different studio? That seems like it would be inefficient. Surely not. Well, there we go. That's episode 3. I'm still curious how they're going to pull off like a satisfying season, right? Because it is like, and that might be a thing of like, this is something that happens a lot nowadays, is because seasons of anything are getting so short, right? It used to be, I don't know if kids remember this anymore, but once upon a time back in my day, when I was young, not that fucking long ago, a season of television was 24 episodes at least, right? Like that was normal to have a 24 episode season of something. Including animated shows. 24 episodes in a season. They also didn't always look that good, but that was what you did. It's like you made a lot of episodes of stuff so that it could get syndicated and so it could run on TV, right? And syndication was kind of the big thing, right? That was, every TV show was trying to get syndicated. And what syndicated is specifically in American TV, if you get over 100 episodes of something, the TV show will enter syndication, where it's sold out, like it's packaged and it's sold to tens of thousands, sometimes different local television stations. Like it's sold to a bunch of different networks where it just runs in reruns, right? Like it just kind of runs. It's the sort of thing that runs when we have a time slot, we don't have anything else to put in it. We'll put a syndicated TV show in there with like reruns and stuff. Lots of cartoons get to that point, right? And once you are syndicated, then you're kind of set for a long time, because then you're going to earn royalties on your work for a long time, including the actors would earn royalties for a long time. There's a lot of actors in American television who were able to earn a tidy living without ever getting famous because they appeared fairly frequently on something like General Hospital or ER or like The Bold and the Beautiful, like some soap opera or whatever. And because those shows were in syndication, that actor would get residuals over and over and over again. Every time their episodes were played on television for something, they'd get like a little $5 here, $10 here, $20 there, that it would add up to like a paycheck that you could live off of, right? And you used to be able to do that. Never get famous, never become like a well-known face in acting, never get a huge starring role, but you showed up as an extra or a background character or a minor character on like enough shows for a while. Like even if you never got the starring roles, you could earn a living, right? And you could do that. You could parlay that into theater work, and you could do other things. Like there was a viable career path for someone to be a working actor, just like appearing in shit. And that's something that has kind of disappeared with the modern streaming franchise model. First of all, because all shows are now 8 episodes long, right? Like a season of something is 8 episodes long. Nothing ever gets to be long enough to enter syndication, even if Netflix was willing to send it out for syndication. And second of all, because the streaming model isn't covered by the union agreements that cover TV acting, that cover movie acting, that cover all the other kinds of acting, because streaming services weren't covered by that, actors would get sometimes a very big payoff up front while Netflix was still trying to break in and establish market share in the industry, but they didn't really get residuals. And that whole model of making a living as an actor is dying very rapidly because the streaming services came in, undercut all the union contracts, undercut all the union negotiations, and hollowed out the market. And one of the reasons why every episode of every season of everything is 8 episodes now is because streamers figured out that if they don't hire a set of writers, if they don't hire a writer's room for more than 8, 9, 10 episodes, that's another way that they could get around the Screen Acting Guild, SAG-AFTRA, and the Writers Guild of America, get around their rules and avoid having to pay too many residuals to the writers who actually write their fucking shows. So part of the reason why shows are so short right now, it's not just that, oh, we've cut out all the filler. We've cut out all the filler. It's no filler, all killer. It's because the corporations found a loophole to avoid having to pay the actors and creators who make the TV shows nearly as much money as they used to have to. They don't have to share as much of the pie anymore, and streaming services don't give a shit if a show is popular. They don't care if a show is something like a lot of people watch. They care whether the show converts into subscriptions for the streaming service, right? They don't make ad money. They don't sell advertising slots. Well, they didn't used to. They do now, but they didn't. That's not really their main source of revenue. They care about turning people into paying subscribers to the service. That's the only thing they care about, which is why a TV show, a season of something that's pretty good but not great, doesn't set the world on fire, but it's really, really cool for the people who are into it, who love it, that shit gets canceled because that's not bringing in 100,000 new subscribers with every episode. That's not bringing in a lot of new paying people. That's just good entertainment for a group of people, like someone who's niche or something that's like specific to a small group of people, yeah, no, we can't use that for shit because that's not going to convert into subscribers. So that gets canceled after 1, maybe 2 seasons. That's why everything gets canceled. That's why all the shows get shorter, right? This is why things are the way that they are. This is also why The Mighty Nine is only 8 episodes. Like, I'm sure if you'd asked the Critical Role folks, hey, do you want to make a 24 episode season of like TV animation based on your campaign? They probably would have been, fuck yeah, that would have been cool. We can build out so many more things. We can expand on characterization. We can give like 2 characters just a whole episode to go on a side adventure. We can invent new things. You don't get that anymore, because the corporations have decided that it's not worth it investing in it. Because Netflix and streaming and Amazon and all of those came along and completely obliterated the economies that used to exist around that stuff. And so now we live in the world of the 8-episode season. And there's not really any way to escape it. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, right, The Mighty Nine. Good show. I'm enjoying myself. Let's watch episode 4.